Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another dismal Disney newscast.
Daily dose of dismal Disney.
Well, it's
D4.
not daily, but it's somewhat. Well, there's been a lot of
You're
stuff.
all your downer dose of dismal Disney, and
Downer
that would be
dose.
D4.
That's D4. There we go. We have a lot of Disney news.
There has been daily issues, but we haven't been covering them daily on this show.
Yeah, so if you go to piratesandprincesses.net, Geeky has been keeping up with a lot of the dismal Disney. We're going to talk about what I think is going to be the Disney bubble burst of 2020. I really do feel, and just comparing notes with some other people, paying attention to what's going on with the market and what's going on at the parks and what's going on at the box office and what's going on with that thing we're not allowed to talk about from China. I think this year the bubble is going to burst.
Yeah, we're definitely start deflating.
Yeah, so the air is going to be let out of Mickey.
I mean, when we say that, when we say that, do we mean it's going to go bankrupt? No. Do we mean Disney's going to close and shut? No. And some reason people think that when you say, the bubble's going to burst, that means Disney's going to go under. No, that's not what we're saying at all. But we're saying that the days of getting away with all the stuff they've been getting away with might have to come to an end.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to tighten the belt a little bit. I think that the upward trajectory that they've had for the last 4 or 5 years, where every year it was like, more and more and more profit, more revenue, rapid growth. I think that is going to come to a screeching halt. And their constant $1 billion box office take is going to come to a halt. And there's going to be some issues with the parks too, because of both internal and external forces.
Right.
And all of this is going to lead to Disney being in for a rude awakening.
Yes.
I think.
That's what I would say, a rude awakening. I wouldn't say bubble bursting, I'd say rude awakening.
Yeah, so before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're only a couple hundred as of recording this.
It's like 400, something like that, 400 and something.
Yeah, we're like 400 and something away from 100,000.
I know, yay.
Well, provided people don't pull out. I'm just afraid they're going to be like, oh, yeah, we're going to drop about 5,000 subs just to mess with you. But hopefully we do hit 100,000 within the next couple days, next day or two. It might even be tomorrow. I have no idea.
We don't know. It's
and
soon.
It stays. And then we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do for 100,000 to celebrate. I don't know.
Yeah, our son keeps asking us, and we're like, I don't know. So we'll figure it out.
I thought we had more time to think about it.
Hey, I'm happy. I think it's taken long enough. So anyway, what's going on at Disney? Oh my gosh, where to begin? So many things. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say I'm going to let Geeky talk about the stuff going on at the parks. But before we get into that, I want to bring this article up. And this is kind of what kicked everything off. The Motley Fool, which can't decide if it likes Disney or doesn't like Disney.
It depends on who's writing the article, but one person in particular, this really kisses up to them. It's ridiculous.
Well, this is not the...
This is not him.
This is not the kiss ass. No, this is Billy Duberstein. Why Disney shares could have further to fall. And he's basically pointing out that, because Disney has fallen. It's fallen like 20-some percent. They're saying 25% from the all-time high and 16%. It said Disney stock's only up 16% in the past 5 years. And that's with them having all these record-breaking profits. Right. He's saying right now, because everybody's like, buy Disney, buy Disney, buy Disney. And he's like, no, you might want to hold off because this year might not be good.
Or you might be able to get it lower, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Hold it off because you can get it's not bottomed out yet. You can get it way cheaper.
Wait till Mickey is on the skids and then you buy, because they can only go up from here.
Right.
So, look, we covered this extensively. Iger is out, Bob Iger is out, Bob Chapek is in. Bob Chapek is a penny pincher, a notorious penny pincher.
Which is why I think he's in.
Because the Fox acquisition, frankly, was a cluster. What did they get exactly? I don't even know what they bought.
Disney Plus is doing okay, but there's nothing new really, and they think that it's going to start slowing down significantly in the near future.
Well, he talks about that.
Oh, he does? I didn't get to read it. So.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. He's talking about that, and he's talking about how the streaming service isn't going to make money for another 4 years.
Which I thought everybody understood that.
Oh, not everybody understands it. Everybody thinks
I was aware of this, but
everybody's like, "Oh, the Mandalorian's a hit. That means Disney Plus is going to be a huge deal." Look, HBO Max and CBS All Access is ramping their stuff up, and NBC's got the cock. The cock is coming to NBC. There's going to be 3 or 4 more major streaming services coming this year, and Disney's going to have to compete with that. And let's be honest, they have the Disney archives, they have the library. But other than a handful of shows, The Mandalorian and all the Marvel shows that have yet to appear, there's not really enough new content to bring
for adults at least, because they do have some shows and movies like for kids, but or teens and stuff. But there will be some, but it's not going to be hitting until later this year, like late summer, fall.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have a lot of people who are going to subscribe. A lot of people, their free trial will be up pretty soon after that time, and a lot of people are going to probably not come back. People who did the free trial, watched Mandalorian, left. So I already knew. I thought they made it very clear from the get-go, at least with the investors and things, that it wasn't going to be profitable for several years.
Yeah, they tell the investors this, but whether or not they listen, that's a whole nother thing. We know Iger's out the door, and I think the investors were not terribly thrilled with what they were hearing. That's just speculation. So anyway, they're saying the major profit centers are most at risk. Okay, so Disney's two biggest profit centers at this point, the theme parks and the movies. Mm-hmm. This year is not off to a good start. So Onward, which frankly didn't look that interesting. Now, we've had friends that went to see it and they said it was actually very, very good.
Even though, I gotta tell you a funny story though.
Okay.
Our friend Lauren, who actually streamed for us at the park, said that she went to see it at a preview event, and this one kid came in and he was dressed as one of the characters, and he stood up and this is a D23 event, basically told them that he was glad they're actually doing something new instead of rehashing everything. Oh, so some kids stood up and told them, kind of let them have it, and I was like, yay.
Yeah, and look, they're running out of things to milk, right? So Onward, we'll check it out eventually. It's probably not gonna be one we see in the theater. It didn't look like a Pixar movie. I wasn't really interested. Now Soul, I am interested in somewhat. That looks more like traditional Pixar to me, but I need to see more. Onward did not do well at the box office.
No, 40 million isn't that great.
We're talking. They're used to having Incredibles 2 and, Finding Dory and these like 100,000 plus or 100 million. I'm sorry, 100,000. That would be really, really bad.
All the time too.
That would be really bad. $100 million.
This wasn't that good. And I'll tell you what, Mulan's not. They're like, he's gonna hit 85. I wouldn't bet on it. But they're saying about Black Widow. I saw another article and they're saying, Black Widows, they're estimating like 130 or something like that million opening, and that's good, but that's not great. I'm like, well, comparatively speaking to things like Birds of Prey and this, it is a really good opening for this year.
Yeah, it's not everybody can be Sonic.
That's right.
But when everybody's Sonic, nobody is.
There you go.
But no, they said that this is actually on par, and this is a lower end of the forecast. They were originally forecasting 45 to 50 million for it. And they said it's about on par with The Good Dinosaur. Which,
that's not a compliment.
And most people forgot The Good Dinosaur exists.
Yeah.
So this is not what they needed. And this one they promoted. Like The Good Dinosaur wasn't really promoted that well.
This one they promoted everywhere. Then they have there's a possible lawsuit going on because of the van that they supposedly, quote unquote, allegedly stole the van design from an artist. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's weak for a Pixar movie. I mean, this isn't much better than Maleficent 2 did. So we're already off to a not so great start. And you look at the movie slate for this year, and there are no Star Wars movies. They do a Black Widow. I'm trying to think what else is like going to be amazing.
They have several things. There's Mulan, Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, I have.
There's a list. I don't have it in front of me. I know they were doing something. Among the list of releases this year, they had things like West Side Story. I didn't even know they were doing a West Side Story until I saw
Spielberg.
that.
Yeah, Spielberg jumped ship to Jones to go do that.
They have several things that I never heard. Well, they have the Eternals is going to be out this year. I don't know
how it's going to do.
I don't either. We haven't seen anything. I think we have to see something first to make an opinion about it. So I don't know. There's a list. I don't have it in front of me because I really don't care right now. I mostly follow the park stuff more than the films. Yeah,
we're going to get into the parks, but basically there aren't any like major tentpole. They're not going to have an Endgame. They're not going to have a Lion King. They're not going to have a Frozen 2. And Rise of Skywalker did not do nearly as well as they expected it to, and that took us into the beginning of this year. So already, it's kind of like, that's not good. Streaming, Disney Plus, they're talking it's not even going to start making a profit till 2024.
Right, which we said, yeah.
That's 4 years. In 4 years' time, we don't know what Netflix is going to do.
Right.
We don't know what HBO is going to do.
Like I said, this is, if you follow along with this stuff, if you were somebody who followed the Disney stuff, you already knew this wasn't going to be profitable for a few years. They said this when they launched it. This is nothing surprising. I don't want people to keep acting like it's a surprise. but they were doing really well, but a lot of places think that it's going to slow down now because all the people who are going to subscribe pretty much have done so. Now you're going to get international markets added to that, but right now there's not a lot for people. Have already seen it all. Like my mom and my mom and dad got it, and they're like, we got it because we thought the whole catalog was going to be on there, and they like the older stuff, and they said we already watched it all. Now what do we watch?
Yeah, and they're saying too that they're like, look, they're licensing because they used to get paid by Netflix and by Amazon, wherever they put their Disney movies. Well, now that everything's on Disney Plus, they're not getting that licensing revenue anymore. But it's this.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Go ahead.
Okay.
I know she watches these. Go ahead.
Hi, Mama Sparkles. Okay, so of the $4 billion in segment operating income last quarter, some 58% came from the company's parks, experiences, and products division. 24% came from studio entertainment. So the theme parks cannot be understated, and we're going to get into that.
We keep saying this.
Yeah, and they said, here's the thing, though. They said any one of these things, the investors would be like, okay, it's not a big deal. But I think we're looking at the perfect storm.
Yeah, they're all going to be under this year.
They're all going to be under. Investors, of course, have been aware of this, in regards to the streaming service. Yep. As long as everything else is doing good. They made
it pretty clear, I thought. Disney made it pretty clear.
Yeah, and they said they've given companies like Netflix the benefit of the doubt for years, allowing streamers to eschew profit or cash flow in the name of subscriber growth. However, if streaming continues to rack up losses while also harming both linear TV and studio entertainment results, all while parks and entertainment profits evaporate.
This is what we've been saying, guys.
Yeah, it's difficult to assess how investors might react to all of that at once.
Yeah, this is what we've been saying. We've been telling you, and this confirms what we've been saying. The parks prop up everything else.
Yep.
Parks and movies, but mostly the parks.
And they're talking about the profits being eaten up by Fox. Again, Fox.
I think that's one of the reasons he was gone.
Fox is a joke. Like seriously, what did you get? You got The Simpsons, okay?
They got the rights back for the early Star Wars films to release them on DVD.
Are they ever going to do that?
Yeah, they're already doing a big box set and everything else. It's already on pre-order, but it's not yet. They're doing a big box set with all the, stuff. That's one of the reasons they wanted it, was they wanted the rights back to the original trilogy stuff for DVD release.
But $70 billion.
Right. They got the Fantastic Four and X-Men, all that back too.
They could have just bought that off of Fox. Say, here, take a couple $1 billion. We want X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Well, they were going to get it a lot cheaper, but Comcast ran them up, which,
Yep.
And now they have all kinds of money to put in Epic Universe. So.
Yeah, so Comcast Universal, they own Universal Studios. They're building what some people are even calling it a Disney killer. I mean,
I don't think it's going to kill.
I don't
Disney,
think it's going to be a Disney
but it
killer.
might make that the first destination, Disney the second, as where now it's kind of the other way around for most people.
Hey, Nintendo's a big deal. Nintendo's a huge deal.
And it might get Pokemon too, so.
Yeah, so they get Pokemon's game over, no pun intended. But yeah, Fox was a waste of money. I mean, that's a huge waste of investor money. And they're saying, I think it was, Iger just promised them the moon. Iger's like, well, we're going to buy Fox, we're going to do this. And then all the Fox movies didn't perform. They wound up canceling 2/3 of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we got more content for Disney Plus, but whoopee-doo.
Yeah, basically it's just content for the streaming service. At the end of the day, that's what it ended up being. I just think it's funny because they got this and they canceled a bunch of stuff, and some people's stuff got canceled, and it was kind of funny. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, it basically it didn't make any sense to spend $71 billion.
$71 billion. They could have got for half of that, but Comcast ran them up. I'm sorry, Fox isn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. They had nothing that was even.
No, when I heard they were paying that, I'm like, why? Because he just didn't want anybody else. He didn't want Comcast to get it.
Yeah, but so what? Let them take the loss.
No, they didn't want it because they wanted to make sure they got the Star Wars rights to the back for the 3 movies, the original trilogy, at least the first one, and they wanted to make sure they got the MCU stuff back, and that's what it was about. I think a lot of it. And if they had let Comcast have it, then they still weren't going to get what they needed back. But I also think they should have just been like called their bluff and been like, fine, you pay for it. And I wonder if they would have backed out.
Yeah, because they paid $4 billion for Lucasfilm. They paid $4 billion for Marvel. Okay, so there's $8 billion, and those are the Star Wars was a big moneymaker. Congratulations on that, Disney. And then I don't know what they paid for Pixar. Was it $2 billion or something like that for Pixar? But still, like all of those brands you got for a fraction of what you paid for Fox, and there's nothing at Fox
there really wasn't, other than a couple things that I have no idea. To me, it never made sense. I thought it was a really, really questionable move then, but they did get some things that they sold off, like they got some gaming things and some other stuff, but it's still, It's just a mess.
And now they got rid of the Fox brand completely.
Oh yeah, now it's just 21st century films or whatever.
I just think it was a bad idea. But yeah, I think that's part of why Iger got gone, because he went on a spending spree. And Motley Fool, they're telling people, like, be cautious with Disney stock, because it's kind of volatile right now. And again, this is, here, we'll get into the theme park stuff here. This is their biggest moneymaker right here. We always said before that the theme parks, make up the bulk of the operating revenue. And we saw that, it's like 58%. But there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now.
Well, first of all, like, if you've been following along at Walt Disney World, they've had so many things. Like, we had, Jungle Cruise had a boat sink. The People Mover crashed into each other, and that was like within a couple days of each other. Haunted Mansion had an incident on Monday night of last week where the cars were apparently turning backwards for whatever reason. And if you've ever ridden the ride, when you go out of the attic into the cemetery, you go down backwards because it's such a steep drop. Well, apparently, from what we're hearing, some of the cars didn't turn properly. People went down front ways. Which would not be good.
There's no seatbelts.
No, so that would not be good. And so that happened, and it just got brought back up yesterday, I want to say. And then today, the one monorail, because the monorails are horrible, and they will not change them. They smell like piss. I'm sorry, but they do. And they're dirty. And the monorail today, one monorail Coral, the doors wouldn't shut. And it was a guy on Twitter, I put it up on PNP, but the doors wouldn't shut. And then he went over into Magic Kingdom and rode the People Mover. People Mover had to be evacuated again.
Same guy.
He was the same day. He covered both. Oh my
God.
The People Mover had to be evacuated again. Splash Mountain reopened and it went down shortly after. But to be fair, Splash Mountain breaks all the time, so I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Test Track at Epcot reopened, and then it had to be evacuated like not long after it reopened, like a day or two. I mean, it's just one thing after another over there. And then there was a fiasco with bread. Because WW News Today brought up that they were hearing they used to give you complimentary bread with you had it put up?
Yeah,
they had complimentary bread with different table service meals. And then it was gone, at least at Coral Reef and at Tony's in Magic Kingdom. And then at Tony's, they replaced it with $9 garlic knots that you could pay for. And at Coral Reef, the bread was just gone. And they tried to say, we're continuing our bread service. There's no plans to discontinue it. Well, according to WW News Today, they said they talked to cast members of the Coral Reef, and they confirmed that the complimentary bread service was in fact removed for a few days, and it was recently reinstated. And there was other people who jumped in and said, they had heard or were told to stop giving out the bread. So they were trying to cut corners to save money by getting rid of bread, which people had a fit about, and they brought it back. But now they're trying to cut corners because now they're trying to cut they've already been cutting entertainment, and now there's other things here they're cutting. Kenny the Pirate put this up, that they said there's different entertainment schedules, but now that there's some things that are being cut down. So they're saying Animal Kingdom will see a reduction in entertainment offerings for 2 of its shows, Pandora Drummers and the Cora Tinga Tinga, which I'm not even familiar with that one.
This is, I've seen it before. So what they're doing is they're cutting the entertainment that involves cast members because they got to pay these people.
Right.
Right?
So then at Magic Kingdom, they said that what's being cut here. Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair is taking place. It takes place normally a few times a day. And apparently they're cutting it down the number of shows.
So you don't have to pay the actors.
They're reduced from 5 to 3 shows now.
Yeah.
So and they talk about going to the character locator to find out more. But this isn't the first thing. They've cut down a couple of shows at nighttime shows. They've cut down like the number of shows they're offering. Now I do know they expanded the Galactic Nights one, but they are cutting. But that's one that doesn't involve cast members. But they are cutting down. I know they've cut down meet and greets. They've taken some of the characters out. They've got rid of some of the shows. I mean, things that you wouldn't think, but they could add up to money.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what happened when, they had the attendance dip. And that's what I'm wondering, because they're cutting this stuff now. So we're getting close to the end of the second quarter. Mm-hmm. And usually that's some indication when they start cutting before the report, that's usually an indicator that things are not going that well. This happened before when the attendance was down in Disneyland. They started cutting all kinds of live entertainment last year.
And things aren't going well because as much as certain blogs would have you believe otherwise, people are canceling their trips because they're worried about the thing that we're not going to talk about because we weren't allowed to. And they're worried about that because it's shut up in Florida. And I'll tell you what, it's really insulting when you see people on these places say they want to cancel or they're worried about it, and everybody mocks them. Like, haha, more room for me. Well, then go ahead and go. But I know they were wiping down the magic band of finger scanners between guests, and Disney's going to do everything they can do to try to, have that not come into the parks. But it's gonna come to the parks eventually, guys. They have all the Asian parks are shut down. Paris is possibly might shut down. Disneyland, Disney World, the ones that are really the ones that are open the most, and no one knows what's gonna happen there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a deterrent. Even if it turns out that thing we can't talk about is not as bad as people were making it out to be, which a lot of people are like, well, it's not quite as bad. The psychology of it.
Yeah, it's a psychology of it.
And people are going to cancel vacations.
Well, the big thing they're canceling are the cruises.
Cruises. And Disney's in full-on freak-out mode. Disney just bought another island.
Mm-hmm. And they have 3 ships coming starting next year, I believe.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars that the cruise industry right now, I think it was Carnival. I think their stock dropped like 58%.
Yeah. It's bad. And now they're doing mandatory temperature checks before you're allowed to enter the terminal at Port Canaveral. And if you're over a certain temperature, then you have to be checked out, and all this other stuff. You might not be able to board the ship, or at least your family won't be able to with you. There's a lot of crap going down. So I'm sure that's going to play into it. But, it's going to be down this year. So I'm totally expecting, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I'm totally expecting to see another round of price increases on both tickets. Because the takeaway from them is hurry up, jack the prices. But the problem is people aren't coming beyond all this stuff because you keep jacking the prices. When Disneyland can cost you up to a couple $100 a day, that's flipping stupid. If you have to have a hopper and all that. But still, it's stupid. And they're raising the prices, and it's actually working against them, not for them.
Yeah, well, what's going on is they know they have a core audience of diehards that will go. I mean, short of the park like spontaneously combusting,
which has been happening. There was a fire at Disneyland.
Well, I mean, with all the damn rides breaking down, but I think what's going on is they're cutting corners on maintenance.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they're cutting corners on maintenance. We've seen way too many accidents, way too many incidents in the last couple weeks, and it's in tandem with other cutbacks. It's in tandem with Bob Chapek coming on. Not that he would have anything to do with those breakdowns.
Unless he was one that cut the budgets.
Well, something's going on.
They're spending all their money. Well, I'm really worried about Epcot because they're spending all their money on this new stuff, and now they have all these things breaking down. They're gonna have to divert money to those things, and if attendance is down, and they have to be taking the theme park money and sending it to these other divisions that aren't performing to keep it all up. I'm worried of what's going to happen to the proposed stuff for Epcot, and it's just sitting as all tore up right now. And they're going to close Spaceship Earth. Are we going to get like budget cut Spaceship Earth?
I think we are.
And it's going to be a complete mess. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't think it looks good. And the maintenance needs to be done. I'm so afraid they're going to take out People Mover. I love People Mover, and I'm really waiting for that to be next. They're going to take it out because it keeps breaking.
They took it out in Disneyland.
I know.
And they never replaced it. They had it was I guess rocket rods for a while. And it broke.
Well, they broke the rocket rods, broke the track.
Yeah, the rocket rods broke the track because it wasn't meant to go that fast.
No.
And they never replaced it. And it's so sad. You go into Tomorrowland and Disneyland, there's the People Mover track. I used to ride it all the time when I was a kid, and it's gone.
Yeah.
And they never brought it back.
I'm hoping they don't take it from Disney World, because there are rumors they were going to do renovations to it and add stuff. Of course, add IP to it. After the 50th, they were talking about adding like Incredibles and all that crap to it. But I'm worried that because it keeps breaking and cars running into each other, and
it's cheaper just to shut it down.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's just a lot going down. Everything's breaking at once, and I think you can only keep taking away from those so long for these new attractions, and now it's time to pay the piper.
Well, even the new attractions. The problem with the new attractions is that they're cutting corners. They're building these hotels. Got the damn beds are falling off the wall at the Riviera. $700 a night, and the bed falls off the wall.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, it's okay, and it's pretty. It's cute, but it's all screens, and mostly screens and that kind of effect. And I think the Great Movie Ride was better.
Yeah, I'm
sorry, but I do.
People are saying that, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure we hear haters. How do you know? What do you know? You're just a bunch of haters. Well, a lot of people are saying it. It's not just us. And I think that, for being a year late, too, it's kind of underwhelming. I mean, I'm not saying it's not cool. It is cool. It is really neat. I think it's cute for what it is. It's cute. But I don't think it's, oh my God, I have to wait in this line for 2 hours to ride this, Yeah,
it's not an e-ticket. We saw even opening day, within a couple hours, the lines were 30 to 60 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know,
I think
again,
them having Fast Pass helped that too, because it spread it out throughout the day.
well, I probably should have did that with Resistance, but that, you know, has so many moving parts. And the problem, even with Galaxy's Edge, I mean, we saw the budget cuts before they opened Galaxy's Edge. They cut an entire ride out. They cut all the immersion out of it.
Can I tell you something about Resistance people were complaining about?
Yeah.
Apparently, they're not leaving as much time in between the vehicles as they were. So now they're trying to get people more people through faster. So the vehicles are running closer together. So as a result, effects that, like, you know, things that raise and lower, or like blast marks that need to disappear before the next cars come through, aren't having time to finish what they do between scenes, because this is what I'm hearing from a couple different places, that they're trying to get people through faster, so they're cutting down the time between vehicles, and it's not giving enough time for the sets to completely reset before the next group comes through.
Well, they were cutting out the entire transport scene too.
They were. I think something broke, and they were cutting it out for a while. Which, if you don't have that scene, the ride's not going to make sense.
No.
They're cutting out. They're basically just bringing you in and taking you right into where the hangar was, and that's great. But why are you there? You have no flipping clue. They don't tell you. So, yeah, it's just. I mean, that's bound to happen though. Things break, but it's just, there's a lot going on, and I think it's just they have too much, and they can't take care of what they got.
And I think especially now with Bob Chapek in charge, he's going to tighten the belt. Especially this quarter.
I think that's what we're telling him he has to do.
Yeah, and I think this quarter we're gonna see some stuff. You know, I think
it's next quarter we're gonna see some stuff.
Yeah, park attendance I don't think is down. We, you know, last time we went to park, it was freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I don't think it is yet. I think it's gonna be.
Yeah, because of that thing we can't talk about.
Yeah, and whether it is or whether it's dangerous or not doesn't matter. Like you said, it's the media and everything, and people being really worried about it. That they're going to cancel, and you know, I can understand why, because they're making it so, you know, so afraid of it. For good. I mean, I'm not saying it's not something to worry about, because it is. I'm just, you know what I'm saying. It's just like I think the truth lies in the middle somewhere. I think that's usually the case, and I think people are so freaked out that even if they're not at risk, they're going to worry they are.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's all, and you know, I just think the whole thing is just, it's a perfect storm of you know, falling off a cliff.
Well, and I think a lot of people too, they're going to wait to plan their vacation, because they're going to be like, we don't know how long that thing we can't talk about.
A lot of people are waiting until next year anyway because of 50th.
Yeah, we don't know how long it's going to last, what kind of impact it's going to have. Are we going to book a trip and then have to cancel at the last minute because they're on lockdown? We don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's a perfect storm. We're going to have a weak box office. They're massively in debt, you know, and they have a leadership change at the top,
Which I still think they did that because they could hide it with the stock drop.
Yep.
Because it seemed like it happened so fast. And I think they did that because the stocks were already plummeting. And instead of taking two major hits at separate times, they just rolled it into one. And that was actually kind of smart.
Yeah.
If that's what they did. I mean, I might be giving them more credit than they deserve. But if they did do that, so they took one hit instead of two. That was actually smart.
It's kind of like peeing in the swimming pool. You know, the filter's going to get it anyway, and you're already...
That doesn't even work.
I don't know.
That doesn't even work.
No. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. Is they're trying to hide it, and it probably that's why. Because I think Iger, normally they would have waited for an investor call, or they would have waited for, like, you know, another media event or something, and made a big to do about, like, here, you know, Mickey's going to pass the torch from Bob to Bob, you know, the Mickey shaped torch on Mickey's head on fire on a stick.
Yeah, but I think that it was already taking, they already knew that it was going to plummet, so they just went ahead and did it at once. I still think that's what they did, but it explains why they did it so quickly. I don't know. Yeah,
so we're going to obviously watch this. I'm going to tell you, though, I really, you know, we talked about our old Disney blog, you know, a couple times on here, and I'm actually kind of glad.
Well, thank God.
We're not doing that, depending on that.
I'm sure that person is freaking the hell out, and, you know, and we don't have to listen to any of it. We're free!
Because the health of that site was dependent on bookings and on trips, and the purpose was to promote travel. And
there's all kinds of signs they're already freaking out.
And the travel industry this year is taking a major hit.
So we get popcorn and watch.
Yeah, we'll just get the popcorn and watch. But again, you know, just to restate this, what Geeky said, you know, Disney is not going to go bankrupt. They're not going to go out of business. No. But I think they might get taken to the woodshed this year. They might
have a comeuppance coming. I mean, the arrogance has been, I honestly think I could sum up everything that made me mad about Disney in the last few years with the word arrogance.
Yeah.
Because there has been this has been so, like I said, when Iger was like, we don't have to do anything except slap Star Wars on it, and they line up, and then they didn't. And they made some really bonehead decisions. They've already ruined Star Wars. Now they're making bonehead decisions about opening the Galaxy's Edge in 2 parts instead of 1.
Yeah,
which was really bad.
Basing it on the sequels, not the original
trilogy. Right, and they obviously been not paying for the maintenance on things to keep to push this other stuff through. And I just think it's been an error. And then raising the prices because they'll pay it. I think the arrogance is just reached ahead, and I think the people aren't going to stand for it. You try to take the bread away, they had a fit, so they had to make a statement. I'm sorry, I'm very mad about the bread because it's not the bread, it's the point of the bread.
The bread was a metaphor. They keep taking things away and charging you extra for things that used to be free for no other reason than they're looking to get more blood out of the rock. And look, these Disney table service restaurants, the meals are already $25, $35 a plate. They can't give you some damn free bread.
Yeah, you go to like Olive Garden or some other restaurant, and you pay a third of the price, or half of the third of the price, and you get free unlimited bread.
Yeah, soup, salad, and breadsticks.
That's one of my favorite things, honestly.
Yeah,
now I want that, damn it.
And frankly, Olive Garden is better than a lot of the restaurants
I'm going with my parents in a couple weeks somewhere, and my dad always goes to Olive Garden, so I'm like, I'll probably get Olive Garden here.
Well, there you go.
A week or two, so
and they'll give you all the free bread you want.
That's right. I'll just get
$9 for a basket of bread.
Not for garlic knots. $9.
Knots
yeah,
is crazy.
Well, that new restaurant, I don't know if they changed the price or not, but on their menu before it opened, they were having like a garlic bread or something like that. It was like $5 for like I think it was like it read like a piece or two of bread. I'm like, for heaven's sakes.
You know what they're probably thinking too, because this is Disney being Disney. They're like, well, okay, we're going to charge them for the bread because also, 1, we get to double dip, we get to charge them for the bread, and 2, if they're not eating so much bread, they'll probably order dessert, and we can charge them $10 a pop, $15 a pop for dessert too.
Desserts are expensive.
I
mean, they're good, but they're expensive.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. I mean, there are some really, really good restaurants at Disney World, but the price is just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to better restaurants and not pay $200.
Oh yeah, for a family of 4, sit down, table service, you're talking $150, $200 easy.
Mm-hmm. Easy. Especially if it's character, possibly more.
Yeah.
It can be like $50, $60 a person. Yeah. So, I cringe when we do those. Our kids love them. But I cringe sometimes because I'm just like, I could have bought all my groceries like for the month. I know, right? What I spent on these 2 meals. Or I could have, gone to, a favorite restaurant locally like 5 times, for the price we paid for 1 meal. Yeah. So, yeah.
So I think people are going to weigh their options a little bit more, especially as the price goes up. I mean, look, I understand Disney diehards are going to go regardless. Like I said, short of the park burning down, they're going to go and they're going to spend their money. But normal people, they're going to run out of money and patience, and there are going to be some red flags going up. And if they're not getting what they pay for, like it's worth paying a premium for an experience.
But they're cutting the experience.
They're cutting the experience, right? Like it's worth paying if you're going to get completely top shelf service, like you used to get. For that price, then it's absolutely worth it. But now it's like it's not much better than going to.
Someone was saying too. I don't know. I didn't compare it myself. But they were saying even the park hours from like a year or 2 ago are cut compared to what they used to be. So I'm just, the experience isn't what it was. The cast members pretty much, I said this before and I'll keep saying it, are the ones who make it good. Even if some of the other things are cut, they usually keep it, good for you. It's just, it is what it is. Yeah,
and I think we have the perfect storm. I mean, I really do. I think there are going to be a lot of things. And again, Disney's not going to go out of business. But they might be hurting a little bit this year.
I'm getting this tomorrow.
Oh, you want to get that?
It's coming tomorrow. That's mine. It's coming tomorrow. Yay! Anyway,
so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on the Disney situation. We'll give you more dismal Disney. We just thought we'd just throw it all into one. Yeah, I can't believe everything like within a week.
It's been pretty much a daily dose, but we just kind of were waiting till we had a lot more to cover it.
All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up.
Yep, if you want more Disney news, make sure you stop at piratesandprincesses.net. That is our Disney arm, our Disney blog that we have. Go check that out. It's on Instagram. It's on, Twitter and Facebook and all that as well. So if you want Disney news more often, that's where you should go.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. Hopefully next time we talk Disney, we'll be over 100.
Yay!
So we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.